Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. I am Mega400, and last time I obtained the shovel, and we can now use that shovel to actually go see the Maku tree, who... Something happened to her in the present time, and we've gone to the past to see if we can fix her kind of disappearing, because we don't want that. And we can actually now use the shovel to actually dig up, places. That's something I forgot to talk about, because I was kind of lost in thought. I forgot to talk about... Ooh, wow, tons of money. That's awesome. Forgot to talk about Gasha seeds. Gasha seeds we got from that one guy. Basically, you can plant those seeds, and eventually they'll grow up to trees that have a Gasha nut, which will give rewards like, for example, rings, sometimes money, in one case a heart piece. So it's kind of a useful thing. Here's a minigame shop. And over here, actually, as a shop you can only access if you're playing this on the Game Boy Advance. It's kind of interesting because this was made for the Game Boy Color, but it was around in enough time for them to apply this feature for when you play on the Game Boy Advance. Here you can buy a Gasha seed, and you can also buy 2 rings, which I don't think have... I don't know if they're useful. I don't know. I think one of them is like a trophy ring, again, like the friendship one. But that shop is available, and I will be buying that stuff eventually just to get it. But yeah, the Gasha seeds, I'll be planting them whenever I get them. There is places where you can plant them in soft soil, and there is, I believe that actually ends up being marked on your map too, where those places are. So anyway, we are now in Maku Road in the past, and this place is actually a little bit more tricky compared to the straightforward way path it was in the present, but really not too much different overall, in that it's still pretty easy. I mean, it's different in terms of, it is different in layout, but again, it's an easy, I don't even really call this a dungeon. It's more of just a, I don't know. I mean, clearly it's not the first dungeon you use. I guess it depends on what you define dungeon as in Zelda games. The way I see it is, if you obtain the object that you're trying to get at the end of the dungeon, like in the past, there's pendants or maidens, or the object in this game that you end up having to get. If you obtain that at the end of the dungeon, then it's an official dungeon. So, in that logic, Hyrule Castle and A Link to the Past wouldn't really be a dungeon. But in a way, it is kind of a dungeon. It's like a mini dungeon. That's kind of like with like Ocarina of Time and the Ice Cavern. Ice Cavern is kind of a dungeon. It has its own map, but it's really not a dungeon. It's like a, I don't know. I guess mini dungeon is the best thing I can come up with. Same with the well. Okay, what do I do here? Probably had to push one of these blocks. Well, not probably. I need to push one of these blocks. I know I mentioned that Oracle of Ages, I feel, has more heavy emphasis on puzzle solving compared to Seasons from what I've found, but this will become more evident later on. At the moment, this is the extent of our puzzle solving abilities. Just pushing blocks. And Stalfos. These guys actually... I almost feel like Stalfos in this game are easier than they are in... I don't know if they're in... I can't remember if they're in Link's Awakening. And obviously, like in A Link to the Past, they actually jump. So, I think that's part of it, is they don't really jump in this game. I know there's a Stalfos captain, or a giant Stalfos in Link's Awakening. So now we have 2 heart pieces too, which is awesome. And okay, nothing this way. Okay, that should pretty much be it, I think. And yes, no, the baby Maku tree is being attacked by moblins. The Maku tree is kind of cute. Kind of looks like the Deku tree does when it is small. Actually, it pretty much is the Deku tree. Maku tree is better than the Deku tree, I think, to an extent. In terms of it feels like they have more. It has more importance because the Deku tree just kind of serves the Kokiri, whereas the Maku trees, they're kind of the guardians of their land. I say trees because technically there is another one, but this is the one we're going to be focusing on for this game. The other one appearing in Seasons. So yeah. Pretty much just exposition what we already know, that the tower is being built because Ambi is being influenced by Veran's decision, or Veran's evil desires, I guess, and she attempted to try and kill the Maku tree, because obviously the Maku tree can, help us. So we have to go back to the present now because she can't really do much as a kid, but she can open doors, which is useful. Door opening is definitely something that you need to do in Zelda games. And then there's this line. When I grow up, I'm going to be your bride. Okay, I understand Link is a ladies' man in a way. You have the whole Zelda 2 suggestible healing in houses, and you have the fact that a lot of the, Ocarina of Time, he has a bunch of different, Ruto, Saria, Zelda. A tree? Why? Why did you make... I would say Nintendo. Technically, Capcom worked on this game, too. Why would you ever think that Link dating a tree, or even suggesting that Link should date a tree, would ever be a good idea? It's just kind of random. And it only happens in this game. Because really, again, Seasons and Ages, unlike Pokemon, where the games are pretty much the same, they are two different games. And in this game, this tree's in love with Link. Along the same lines, it pretty much is like Ruto, but in tree form. In a way, because Ruto wanted to marry Link, but Link was like, well, just give me the sapphire, I'll do whatever you want, I guess. Yeah. You know what, I don't really care about your love, I'd rather, focus on the issue at hand, which is that Veran is causing trouble. Yes, thank you. Okay. Wait, we know that's what she's doing, because that's what she's doing. That's the one thing, as much as I say this game has a good plot, it does seem like a lot of the beginning part is kind of like, yeah, she's doing evil stuff, because she's evil. Anyway, we're just trying to get to actually the good part, which is, what we need to do. We need to stop her, obviously, but to do so, okay, we need to, no, come on. I don't recall, but I think you need the 8 Essences of Time. So yes, these are the objects we'll need to be obtaining in this game. And they don't really explain why you need them, I guess, to an extent. The main reason is they hold her memory, which is, I don't know, does that even actually do anything? Who cares? We need to obtain them because it's a game. It does feel like to an extent, the Ages, and I think Season does a better job of handling this than Ages does with the 8 things you need to obtain. But it does feel like Ages does a kind of poor job of explaining why you need to obtain stuff. Like in Link to the Past, you had to get the pendants to prove your worth for the Master Sword, and then you had to obtain the Maidens because they could help you get through Ganon's Tower and stuff. And, same with the Sages in Ocarina of Time and yada yada. But here it just seems kind of like, yeah, go get this stuff because, that's how we do things in Zelda. Either way, we now have a seed satchel. Seeds are... I kind of like seeds. I think they only appear in the Oracle games. Well, I think technically also there's an element of seeds being in the Four Swords Game Boy Advance game, but it's not even close to the same thing. Seeds basically have very useful uses, and there is an item I think in this game. It is this game that you can obtain that make them even more useful. First off, I'm gonna go buy this shield. Technically, you can get this shield for cheaper later on, but I want the shield. I just like having. I like getting things as soon as I can get them, even if I can get them cheaper. And it's only like 20 rupees less, so it's only you can get it for 10 rupees basically. But yeah, right now we have Ember Seeds, and Ember Seeds can be used to burn stuff, so they will definitely be useful. I didn't have to technically get those, but I did want to make sure you do take all the seeds off trees, because that will come into play later when you get a different type of seed. That it'll be necessary to have all the seeds taken off the trees in different locations. Anyway, rupees, more rupees. See, that paid for my shield. And getting that 100 out of the ground pretty much helped me too, because I now have like 121 already. Rupees aren't really that important in this game, but you'll still need them for various tasks. So now that we have the Ember Seeds, we can head this way to the graveyard. And this is where we'll find our first dungeon. the old graveyard. Okay, I need to go down first, I believe. And that ghost will come into play later. Everything will come into play later. Okay, yeah, here. Just random kids. And that spot means we can play a Gacha Seed, technically. So yes, there is supposedly a grave beneath the a tree, and there might be... Technically, I don't think the kids are really talking about there being something down there, but it's a hint to say, go down there to that grave. Which I think is nice, because I think you don't necessarily need to have those kids there, because you could probably figure that out for yourself anyway, but it does, for people who might not know what to do, it does kind of, like, drive home, hey, go down this way. But to be fair, though, you can't go up because you need a key, which, yeah, we'll be getting in this grave, and, you know, eventually you'll end up here where you can burn the tree, so I almost feel like those kids are kind of unnecessary at the same time. Anyway, lighting these torches will give us the key we need. The old graveyard key, and this will allow us to proceed to the first dungeon. Which is over there, obviously. I don't like the past main theme over the present's main theme. Or overworld theme, rather. Okay. And over there is Syrup's house. But anyway, I am Maku400, and I will be reminding you that next time we'll be taking on the first dungeon of this game. See you guys.